All right, good morning. Welcome back, everyone, and appreciate you tuning in for this live episode here for our NEOFLY Career over at Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We are making a few changes here, so we're going to be in the Cessna CJ4 here for the first flight in our NEOFLY Career. So we upgraded. This is a Class E airplane. We were flying in Class C for a little while, and we're making the jump to the Citation CJ4. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to be heading up to Maine. So we're leaving Long Island and head up to Maine. So we're going to get this thing on the ground. I'm excited to be flying in the CJ4 here. I have flown this plane before in the past. It's been a minute, but I'm super excited to be getting back into the cockpit of the infamous CJ4. So hope you guys are excited about this one. Oh no, playing with requires a co-pilot. Oh no. Alright, so I gotta hire another pilot. I did not know that. Alright, so we're gonna have to back out here real quick. This is a NeoFly thing. So we're going to have to go to our pilots here. And we're going to have to hire a new pilot. And he needs to be Class C certified. So, or no, Class E certified. So we got to scroll down here and find the Class E right here. So we can do Hyde, Glory, Caterpillar, Mad Dog. Alright, let's go ahead and X. We got to go back to the main menu because we're going to have to load up. So we kick off NeoFly once again. So let's see if our friend in Belgium is watching. Go ahead and pick our co-pilot here. Should we get Mad Dog, Caterpillar, Nomad? Which one should we get? Mad Dog? Alright, we will get Mad Dog. So we're gonna hire this guy. $1,700. We're gonna go to our hangar. Oh, we gotta move him. All right, let's see. How do we move our pilot again? So view hired pilots. Mad Dog. Move to a new location. Where are we at? We are sitting at KFOK. So we're going to go KFOK. And we're going to spend just under $1,000 to move him to our location. We'll go to the hangar. Nope, we're going to go to him. No, we go to our hangar. And here we need to select a co-pilot. So we put Mad Dog in for our co-pilot. There is not enough payload remaining for this co-pilot. Alright, so I think we gotta cancel our mission there. Put him in. And then we also need to go to this. We've almost left Camille in our TBM 930. So we're gonna have to empty Camille. Put her in as a co-pilot there as well. And then we're gonna go to our jobs. And now we have to figure out where we can fly to. So we're going to have to do this on the whim here. Can we fly to the same airport? Which one were we looking at? We were looking at KPWM. Ooh, KPWM. Here is one. So it's not going to be a VIP mission, but it will be a passenger mission. So we're going to see if we can accept this job. We're going to go back to the hangar. Alright, so now we got that job. Alright, so we're in there. We got our co-pilot, Mad Dog. We almost left everybody behind. So here we go. Now we can go into our world map. We're going to load up our flight plan that we had. We're going to select runway number 6 for our takeoff. Runway number 11 for our departure or destination landing here over in Portland, Maine. So now I do believe we can get going.
Hello, Captain. Nice to see you again. Good day, pilot. We have a lot of excited passengers ready to board today. Let me know when you are ready for them.
Alright, so we are good to go here. We're carrying John,
Captain,
38 male.
We've opened the gates for boarding. The passengers are on their way.
Take a look at our flight plan here real quick while they're doing that. So we're leaving Long Island and we're headed up to Portland, Maine here. So we're going to be flying over Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Alright, so we got...
Transported from dispatch. All passengers on board. You can ask for the clearance to take off. Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Alright, so we're going to adjust to daytime here for our first flight in the CJ4. We are super excited. Let's get situated here because we haven't flown the CJ4 in a little while. So we got our flight plan loaded. We need to adjust our heading. Here's our heading. Heading is good. Our altitude is set for 2,000 feet in our flight plan. Oh wow, that is super touchy compared to the other one, so that's fun. So let's get to 2,000 feet. So take a look at this dashboard, shall we? So a little more complicated here. We got our double throttle here for 2 different engines. As we take a look at the Cessna Citation CJ4, we're in the orbit one. There's nobody waiting for us on the taxiway, so we get a good look here from the exterior. Looks like our flaps are down. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And alright, so we got a business jet here. I don't know how many it seats, but it's a decent amount. A lot more than the 4 that we were carrying before. We got 5 windows there, our exit, and our passenger. Alright, so altitude set. Let's go ahead and remove our yoke for a second. Here's our parking brake. This is our flap lever. We also have some beacon light, navigation light is on, logo light is on, landing light is on, taxi is off. Taxi's fine. Here's our navigation program. We're just getting real situated with the all the buttons here. Here's our vertical speed adjustment, our FLC mode, and we got So there's autopilot, altitude hold, or heading, or navigation mode, or FLC mode, and our flight director is off. We need that on. Cabin lighting. Nice. Alright, we are good. Just looking for all the buttons that we normally do. We're going to flip open the cover there. What is this? Dump cabin pressure. We got it. Here's our landing gear. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take off before our passenger is wondering what we are doing. So, with that, we are going to, so we do have clearance, right? I'm going to forget about ATC here. Clearance to take off. We're going to go ahead and release our parking brake here. We're going to go full throttle, both engines. Go ahead and depart here. Yeah, we're going to be looking at a few things here. We're going to be looking at what our cruise altitude speed is. And we got liftoff.
Pilot, have a nice flight.
We got positive climb.
Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra, continue for non-departure.
We got ATC.
Tower Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra, continue for north departure.
Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Tower Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra, frequency change.
Alright, we're going to hold off on ATC so that we can figure out what we're doing here. There we go. We were just going way too fast. It didn't like it. We don't want to crash our plane here. We just spent like $2 million to rent it. So we got air brakes here. Or speed brakes. Alright, so we got a cruising altitude speed going right now at 45% of 235. So very good there. Let's go ahead and get an exterior view. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, very slick Cessna Citation CJ4. We got our co-pilot in there for the first time on NeoFly. And we are flying over Alright, so we're getting ready to fly over the Long Island Sound here. So let's get some updates going on. What do we have? Alright, so we're departing from Westhampton Beach, Long Island. We're going to be heading over to Portland, Maine on this NEOFLY Career Mode. We got a regular passenger thing, which reminds me, he's scared. That's alright. We're going to serve him a drink, get him happier. He was scared because we went over speed there, but we're good. So now we know 50% is cruise speed of 237 knots. We got Camille serving her drinks. And we'll finish this update. So for as far as our NeoFly update, the AI pilots that we got Snoop and Gucci in the CJ4 as well. They've been flying around in that one for a little bit now. They just reached the 7.3 million revenue mark. That's gross number, not net. And Hurricane is flying in the PC6 with her flight attendant. And they just hit the $2.7 million gross mark. Our pilot, for all those that are new, we started off in Florida. We went to the, we saw some of the southern states on the way out to the west. And we hit up New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California. And then we made our way up California to the northwest of the United States. And we hung out in Portland, Oregon, and did a little bit of British Columbia, Canada, and then headed over to Montana, and we hung out there for a minute before we decided to come over here to the Northeast. So, big update here that we're now flying in the Cessna Citation CJ4, where we were flying in the TBM 930, which was an awesome plane to be flying. We purchased that plane in NeoFly, so we still have it in our pocket. We're definitely going to be taking that out for a trip again every once in a while. And what else do we got? Yeah, 5.9 million in cash, which is probably going to be a little less than that because I think I wrote that down before I rented this thing. And our net worth is about 10.1 million with fixed assets of 3.5. So the other thing that we have going on, that's our NeoFly update. The other thing that we have going on is our Hawaiian adventure tour. It's 8 legs in total. We completed the 6th, and I haven't flown the 7th yet, so be on the lookout for that soon. And yeah, so for now, as we fly over the Long Island Sound now, let's go ahead and get another well, let's get a little interior look here. So we got our landing gear, landing lights on, we got our beacon lights on, navigation light, strobe light, logo light. We don't really need the logo light on, so we're going to go ahead and shut that off. I know the other thing that was fun here, so there's seatbelt. So all the passengers there, you can turn seatbelt, safety lights, on. So you know how when you're sitting in the passenger seat in an airplane and it's got all those lights above you to put your seatbelts on? This is where they're controlled. So maybe we'll do the safety light or the belt light before the safety and seatbelt light before we land in our destination of Maine. So we have 161 nautical miles to go for our top of our descent here, so we got a little bit of time before we need to do that. So we're gonna take this time to get refamiliarized with the new plane that we're flying. So what do we got? We got our navigation system. We got our flight plan loaded. We have, this is our control panel brightness for our navigation system. That's our dashboard brightness. We'll have that for when we're doing some early morning flights or night flights. That's our passengers or our co-pilot side brightness. Let's see, we're coming up to Norwich. Alright, so we're flying over Connecticut right now. Alright, Camille finished serving her drinks. Let's see how he's doing. Is he still scared? He is. Let's go ahead and do a safety. So he's sitting at 60% and rising. We're going to go ahead and do a safety little protocol. So she'll give her buckle your seatbelt thing and everything. Maybe that'll level them out a little bit and get them not as nervous. So good to know that, yeah, only 50% power to get to a decent cruise speed. See what happens if we increase that a little bit to 53%. So 239 knots. It's not too bad. 241. Alright, we won't test the red arc there. Oh, maybe we'll do that. Let's go ahead and slow this all the way down to about 33%. We got to figure out where our white arc is. And it seems like it takes a little bit to reduce our speed. Yeah, we haven't even seen the white arc. We haven't even touched it yet. So let's go down to like 20% and see what that does. Alright, dropping down to 205. I'm going to go ahead and go to our channel here. Alright, so we are headed to Maine. In the brand new Cessna CJ4. Alright, that certainly does take a while to drop in speed here. Can we do speed brakes? Yeah, that increases. Ah, there's the white arc. Alright, I want to find out where our stall speed is. We're currently about 20%. Ah, is that it? Yeah, that's the top there, 122, 125. That's where it was in the TMB 930. So we're going to be looking for that mark there. So we're definitely going to have to be landing in a little bigger airplane, or a little bigger airport, so that we have a longer runway. Our destination runway today, I intentionally picked this one because we have a 7,189 foot asphalt runway to land on. So as we cross over Interstate 95, so we got a little wiggle room there to kind of test out. There's our stall speed. If you look here, we zoom in, that red line, that's the stall speed. So we are going to, call 25%, 20 or 22% a decent speed to be coming in at for a landing. So we definitely need that bigger airport to land this plane. Let's take our speed brake off. And what are we looking at here? All right, so good to know. I'll make a note of that somewhere right here. So landing, we're looking at about 22%. And cruise speed, or cruise, we're looking at about 50%. So let's see how it picks up when we go to 50% here. We'll try 55%. So we seem to pick up speed pretty quick. And let's see what kind of cruising speed we get and make sure we don't hit the red section there to scare our NeoFly passenger. All right. So with all that, the safety instruction and a drink, John is good. He is up to 85%. He's no longer scared. We kept his emotions down. Take a look at our outside of our window. Let's go ahead and see where we're at now. Are we still in Connecticut? Yeah, we are still in Connecticut, I think. Yeah. So we are going to be just crossing over the tip of Massachusetts before we head into, or no, yeah, we're going to be crossing over the tip of Rhode Island before we go into Massachusetts, and then we'll be into New Hampshire, and then we're going to be going into Maine. We're looking at the... we hit our freaking top, so 57%, too much. So we'll make our adjustment. I'm gonna guess we just scared John. We did. John's scared. That's alright. First flight here, we gotta get all our ducks in a row. Drop that down to 40%. So we're only going to be using that when we are climbing. So 40% looks good there, and we are cruising at about 230. So alright, let's go ahead and adjust our notes there. For future flights, cruise speed is going to be 40% at straight and level, flaps down. Alright, so I am enjoying. I'm psyched to be in the CJ4 once again. We used to fly this plane a few years ago a bunch. So we are now flying into Rhode Island territory here. And we're crossing, that's Wallam Lake. And we're just going to be crossing over the northwest tip of Rhode Island. It's only going to be a minute before we get into Massachusetts. So we can basically tell John, our passenger here. So as we depart Rhode Island, the border probably sits right about here. We are now technically in Massachusetts now, everyone. As we make our way to Maine. There is Blissful Meadows Golf Course off to our right. Let's go ahead and see if we can see that. Not so much. I'm gonna get our... That's it. Yeah, we can't see it. A little too far away. That's alright. So we're gonna be coming up to State Road 46. That's this. And there's the Carolyn's Cannabis Dispensary coming up. For all those that use it for medicinal purposes. Oh, we are going to be flying over a golf course coming up soon. So let's see if we can find the name of that one. That is Whitingsville Golf Club that we're going to be coming up. I'll point it out when we get to it. We're going to be flying right over it. Oh, we actually already did. This plane is quick, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to get... There's the golf course. We're going to have to get used to how fast this plane is. Things are passing by like super fast. So we'll head on over to the cockpit. We're going to get ready for our landing a bit early here. So we are 110 nautical miles away, but in this plane that is the equivalent to 18 minutes. So we're going to get all situated here super early. So we had our we were going to call 27%. We wrote down 22, but I'm just going to bring it down there, and then we're going to hit our air brakes to reduce our speed a little bit. We want to head into this runway as smooth as possible for this first flight in the CJ4 in a little while. I haven't flown this plane in a long time. And we've been flying the TBM 930 for a while, so we got to get reacclimated into a different plane here. So let's all cross our fingers for a nice smooth landing over at Portland International. Let's go ahead and take a look at our flight plan. And we will look at the airport here. So we're going to be making a right-hand turn. I probably should have added an extra waypoint for this first flight to give us a little extended time, but I did not, so we're going to have to deal with that. So 7,200 feet. All our parking here is going to be over to the left off of, I don't see a taxiway. Alright, taxiway A. And we're probably going to be using all of the runway, maybe. We'll see. There's a couple of little, definitely not making that one. But we might just go ahead and run all the way down here to taxiway B at the end of the runway on the other side. So we'll probably be taking B to A. There's some more parking over here off of taxiway. Which one is this? That one's not saying it. Oh, that's still taxiway A. So we'll either be parking here or here. Make sure everything's still looking good over there as we approach Calendar Field. Alright, so not too bad. 101 miles to our destination here. We never did talk to ATC, so we kept them pretty quiet. We can probably throw them on now at this point. We're going to make John happy again. He's down to 78%. Oh, nice. You got Marlboro. Is that the cigarette plant? Or is that Marlboro Airport? That is Marlboro Airport. I wonder if there is a relation to the cigarettes here. So we're in Massachusetts, and then we're going to be crossing over New Hampshire for about, I'm going to guess, like 40 seconds before we get into Maine, and we're going to be flying into the Portland International Airport here. Alright, so we're at 155. Our airport sits at 53 feet above sea level. We're currently at 2,000. So we are going to... Here's the other thing that we got to get written down here. So our cruise speed, 40% is pretty good. Our slow approach is, we'll call that good at 27%. It should really be 22. Yeah, so we'll do 22%. And then our flaps, and landing gear is going to be good at 27%. And that's going to counteract the drag that the landing gear gives and the flaps give. So let's go ahead and we'll do our flaps at 50%. That's going to slow us down some. So we're going to want to watch our speed that we don't go into the stall range. Let's go ahead and write down the stall speed once we see that again. We're going to do our landing gear. Alright, we got 3 green lights for our landing gear. There's our stall speed. So we don't want to hit that. So we're going to get ready to move our throttle here. Let's increase it a little more. And I'm looking over here. So 117. We're at 40%. So it's basically the same thing as the cruise speed to maintain level speed here. So not too bad.
Austin Center, good speed 547, is passing 10,500 feet, climbing 17,000 feet. Good speed 547, Austin Center, altimeter 29.9, 2 radar contact, continue.
Alright, so we'll call that good there. So we're looking at 40% for our flapping landing gear down. Alright, so we are going to contact ATC.
Austin approach Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is type Cessna C25C4 miles east of Lake Alpha Flight to 2,000 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Austin approach. Squawk 0514.
Squawk 0514 Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra radar contact 5 miles west of Hanscom, 2,000 feet. Altimeter 29.92.
Roger Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Alright, let's see if we can find our airport. So we're looking for KPWM. It's probably going to be on the last page if it's even on here yet. Alright, it's not even on here yet. So probably won't get it for another couple of minutes. But we are going to go ahead and... So we're almost done with passing over Massachusetts, and we're going to be crossing over New Hampshire super fast. Gonna get our views in check. What river is that? That's the Concord River. Alright, do we have anything else coming up? I'm looking for a golf course. We like to play golf. Alright, we do have another golf course coming up, so we'll point that out when we get there. That's the Swanson Meadows Golf Course that our flight plan takes us right over. And we are currently here, passing over there. We should be able to see it. It's going to be super quick. Nope, that's not it.
Meet flight 47, contact Boston Center on 12.375. Good day.
Oh, maybe that is it. That's the golf course, so not huge good detail on that one. We're going to be crossing over that Concord River. Alright, let's go ahead and test out our altitude adjustment here. So we're going to drop down to 1,500 feet.
Altitude. Altitude.
And we're going to turn on our FLC mode. And then we'll adjust our vertical speed a little bit to get our decrease in elevation going. Crossing over 1,700 feet here. Alright, so we're at 1,500 feet. We're in altitude hold mode already, out of FLC mode.
Altitude.
Do a little quicker descent. Down to 1,200 feet. Alright, we got roughly 12 minutes to our destination here, which is 75 or 72 nautical miles away. And we are about to cross over into New Hampshire. So lots of activity there. And we just crossed over the town of Lawrence. Which we are technically in Massachusetts. So that was Lawrence, Massachusetts. So looking at our flight plan here, it looks like the state line kind of cuts over and up and then back over. So we're technically in Massachusetts. New Hampshire is just over to our left, and we'll technically cross over the border up here. Interstate 495 is over there, and we're about to cross over another golf course over to our left. So let's go ahead and see if we can look out our window here and see that golf course. I'm not having too much luck with golf courses today, because everything's flying by so fast. I feel like I'm behind. I guess that's the golf course up there. Man, I'm so far behind today. It's early. It's 2 a.m. here. And we're sort of distracted and focused on flying this new plane. But I know I am going to enjoy flying the CJ4. I've loved flying this plane in the past, where you just got to get resituated and learn all the buttons and gizmos here. But yeah, so for all those that have been keeping tabs on our flights here with our NEOFLY Career, and there's a golf course. We got one. No idea which one that is, but we got it. Score. All right, there's my ADD. But yeah, so we're doing our NeoFly Career, which we're doing here. We're renting out the CJ4. We're headed in the northeast. We're probably going to try to make our way over to Nova Scotia and see what kind of missions we can get in NeoFly to make that happen. But we also have those Hawaiian tour adventure going on. We're going to be we completed 6 out of 8 legs. We're going to be doing the 7th one in the next day or two, I think. And so be on the lookout for that. And then we're also getting in preparation for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We've already pre-ordered the package, so I'm sure as the days get closer, I'm going to get more and more excited about that. So hope you guys are too. We're also doing a little upgrade on our computer in order to handle the requirements of 2024. So we put a new C drive in our computer to get a little more storage. We just installed new RAM last weekend. We doubled up. Everything seems to be running smooth on this end now. And we also got a new modem that I still have to connect. I've just been busy with work and haven't had a chance to call the internet company so that they can ping it But we'll take it out of the box definitely this weekend if I don't have time to do it today or tomorrow. So new modem's going to be connected this weekend. So our bandwidth should increase. And yeah, we should be good to go. So we're all excited about all that good stuff. We are going to check our flight plan here. We're 60 nautical miles away. So we're going to see if we can find our airport again here. So we're looking for KPWM, Portland International. There's Plum Island. I'm surprised we can even see that. That must be a different Plum Island. That was from our last NeoFly video that we did. Nelson DeMille, the author, wrote Plum Island. I think that was one of the first books I ever read from him. Super interesting book if you're into that. So we are looking. Oh, nice. There is a skydiving airport, so that was pretty neat. There's Logan International. Getting further away from that. So we don't have our airport up just yet, but we are going to drop our elevation once again to about 900 feet. We're going to adjust our barometric pressure. So our barometric pressure now in this plane, I'm sure we can change it, but instead of like that 30.29 or whatever, we're in HPA. So now this is actually coordinated to the air pressure that you see on weather maps. So the air pressure here is 1000.013. So we're gonna do that. So like when I'm also sort of a weather guy. So the hurricanes, when they form in a low pressure. So when the pressure drops, that's that reading here. So we're adjusting that, our barometric pressure, to make sure that we get an accurate reading as to what our elevation is. I think I explained that right. I don't know. But nonetheless, let's see where we're at here. We definitely did cross over the border. And we are in New Hampshire. And then we're going to be crossing over the border shortly to go into Maine, where we're going to land at Portland. So we currently sit at 1,200 feet. I'm going to do a target of 900 feet. And that'll be the final drop before I take full control for our landing. So we are getting super close. We're 9 minutes away, 54 nautical miles. Airport's not up there yet. Airport will probably show up when we're 30 nautical miles away, but that's going to be like a quick little 5-minute trip. So we're going to be doing that. So we are. So everybody fasten their seatbelts. We're coming in for our first landing here in the Citation CJ4. All right, so what I just pulled up here. So we're in the CJ4 here. And the max altitude is 45,000 feet with a range of 2,165, and it's a Class E plane. So I'm guessing what we're going to try to do is we're going to see what this thing looks like at 20,000 feet. So we need a longer flight plan for that. So I'm going to see if I can get a mission that is a little longer so that we can rise up above the clouds and see what this thing looks like at 20,000 feet for our next flight. All right, 47 nautical miles away. Looking for Portland, Maine. Portland International.
Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra contact lost in approach on 125.05. Good day.
All right, we'll turn in approach.
125.05 Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. Lost in approach Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 900 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Boston approach altimeter 29.0 rider to radar contact continue.
So that's what I'm talking about. The altimeter 29.92 is the equivalent to the barometric pressure of 1,013. So we got to do a conversion there. Maybe I'll pull up a conversion chart between the two altimeters. So we're coming up to the seaplane base. So there is a landing thing in the water there. All right, 45 nautical miles away. We're looking for Portland, KPWM. We want to tune to the tower to get this over with. I want to focus on the landing because it might be a bumpy one. I don't know. We'll see. I'll do my best to get a nice smooth landing. Alright, 34 nautical miles to the top of our descent, 43 to the runway. And we're just waiting for it to pop up here. Alright, we're passing over Plymouth. All right, Portland International, KPWM. We're gonna tune to the tower. Try to get runway number 11. Got Mountain View Airfield, or Mountain View Field. Steck Farm, NH78. We're 40 nautical miles away from our destination. Should be popping up soon. 39 miles away. Webster Field, ME91 is in range. .38 nautical miles, almost 37. We're at a decent altitude for our approach at 900 feet. Speed check good. We got a heliport coming up in range. Charlotte. Or Charette. No L. Scarborough Airport's in range, KSCU. MA36 snow in range. Super Cub Field, ME26 in range. Manchester, KMHT in range. Leamington, Harmon, 63B in range. There's Portland International, Jetport, KPWM, that's where we're headed. Tune to the tower. We're going to request a full stop landing.
Portland Tower Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Gold Sierra is 3 miles southwest 900 feet with echo to land.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, Portland Tower. Altimeter 29.902, wind 285 at 4. Request base runway 11.
Enter left base runway 11 Cessna X-Ray Gold Sierra.
Alright, we're actually going to be... We got the runway that we put in our flight plan, so that's good. They gave us a left base traffic pattern, but we're just going to go ahead and do our right base and call that a day. I don't want to fly around and come back. It's already been a decent minute flight here. We are looking at... we've been live for 1 hour, is that right? Holy crap. Didn't think it was that long. But we're gonna get clearance to land probably when we get a little bit closer. We're gonna actually do this. We want a nice little added mileage here. So we're gonna go from here, we're gonna add a distance marker. And then we're gonna add another one to our waypoint to give us just another extra couple of miles to line up to the runway, since this is our first landing in the CJ4. So if anybody wants to know about nav maps here, I just did that. It gives us our heading. So we're going to be turning our heading to 31 degrees and then 106 degrees, give or take. It's not completely lined up to it, but that's going to give us another extra 4.8 nautical miles to line up to our runway. So as we approach here, I'm going to switch from our GPS mode over to heading mode, and we're going to adjust our flight plan to that. So we're going to stray away from this pink line over here. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So right now we're in nav mode. We're going to switch over to heading mode. And we're going to adjust that to 3-1. That's our heading here. And then we're going to go switch from nav mode to that, and we're going to look at, just in case, our altitude shouldn't change, but we're going to get that ready for safety. So we're going to switch on over to navigation or heading mode. That'll put us towards there, which is set for 31 degrees. And now on our flight plan, we're going to be following that up there. So we're going to deviate from our flight plan to give us a little extra 4 miles to line up to the runway, since we got to get acclimated to the CJ4 that we're renting here in our NEOFLY Career. So in the meantime, I'm going to take a sip of coffee, which is cold now. We're going to check on our passenger here. He wants some food, so we're going to do a quick little food distribution because he dropped down to 23% happiness. And we want to maintain our reputation here over on our NeoFly Career, so we got Camille start giving him some food. Oh yeah, guess the other thing we'll do is we're going to make sure landing lights are on. There's our landing lights. We're going to turn on our seatbelt notification and our safety notification for our passengers as we prepare for our landing. All right, and we are right on track with our new little measurement tool here. This is going to be 15 nautical miles that we're flying along this path, and then we're going to line up to the runway for Portland. We're going to land. We're probably going to use most of the airport, or most of the runway, and head on down to runway 29 on the opposite end of 11. And yeah, we'll see if we can make taxiway A here, but I'm going to give myself a little bit of wiggle room here and just say that we're going to go to the end, and then we're going to get a good look at Portland International Airport, and we're either going to park here or here. So we got parking like 55-ish, or the 20s, 40s, and 30s over there. So that's where we're going to be parking. Maybe we'll swing by the gates a little bit and see what they look like with some of the bigger Boeing airplanes. Alright, cruise speed all looks good as we prepare for our landing over here in Portland International. And are we technically in Maine? We are technically in Maine at this point. We're going to be crossing over Lehman Lane, Daytona. Will be off to our right hand side. Clark's Mill, Salmon Falls, Bar Mills. We're going to be making our turn up towards the Buxton Center and the Hollis Sports Complex. And then we're going to line up for the runway and get the runway in sight. Alright, so we are coming up to our right hand turn. We're in we're in heading mode, so we're gonna have to adjust our heading manually here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little left hand turn here since we're to the right of our new approach line. And then we're going to be crossing over State Road 202. We're going to get a look at a river. It's the Saco River. I think that's how you pronounce it. S-A-C-O. It's actually off to our right. You can see it right there. That's the Saco River. That runs up, and then we're going to eventually cross over it. Should be getting clearance for landing in about a minute or two. We're already tuned to the tower. Start our right hand turn slowly. We're going to do this in steps. Take it nice and steady here for our first flight in the CJ4. We're eventually going to be looking at 106 degrees, which I think we can move that now. So see how quick this thing turns. We're at 85, 105. Let's start with that. All right, so this plane turns very quick. So we're going to adjust it back so that we actually line up. So we don't need that much room to turn. So that's good to know. This is why I wanted to give myself some extra room. So we're going to go back to the 53 degree mark. And then, so 106 degrees, give or take. We're coming up to the Baxton Center. So we'll go 105. We're going to make our turn. We should be lining up to the runway. We're a little bit off to the right for the lineup. I can see the lights down there. So that's the runway over here. So we got runway in sight. We'll go ahead and adjust our heading to line up to the runway. And with runway 11, that's going to be 111 or 110 degrees. Because the runway numbers are in alignment with the degrees. If you just take off the last decimal or the last place there, so you drop the 0 and you got runway 11. So it looks like we're lined up pretty good with the runway. We're going to take manual control as we get closer. We'll make another small adjustment. Alright, we're still to the left or to the right. And we are 5 nautical miles away from our destination. Wind speed looks pretty good, a little cross breeze. Or no, we're going downwind, I'm sorry.
Cessna entering Golf Sierra, 12854. Clear to land runway 11.
Alright, we got clearance.
Clear to land runway 11 Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra.
Alright, now we're almost lined up. We are good to get rid of autopilot.
Autopilot.
We're going to adjust our view here as we land into Portland International. We're going to keep an eye on everything, try to get a smooth flight going, or a smooth landing going here for our first flight in our NeoFly career with the Cessna Citation CJ4. So we're going to point the nose down a little bit. Keep our eye on the back of the runway there and the threshold. Dipping in elevation, speed check is good, 125. Nice smooth approach here. Downwind 4 knots. We got plenty of runway to work with, so I'm not concerned about hitting the front of the runway. Just want to stay clear of those trees. We got notification of 500. They got 2 towers here. That's Interstate 95 that we're crossing over. Alright, we're gonna cut throttle.
Well, you've landed. We'll send maintenance to check the gear after you park.
Alright, we made a successful landing.
Contact ground for your parking assignment, then shut down your engine.
We will call that good, ladies and gentlemen. That's our other runway, so that's not a taxiway. So we are heading all the way down to the end of the runway there. So we will pull off here on the taxiway. Alright, we're going to park here for 1 second. We're going to contact ground. Get a request for parking.
Route Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra taxi to parking.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Bravo, cross runway tree 6 Bravo.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Bravo, cross runway tree 6 Bravo, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Alright, looks like they're giving us parking number 5 if they don't have us going on to taxiway Alpha. So just taxiway B. So we're going to head over to parking number 11. So we'll get a good look at the Portland International Airport here. So 2 towers here over at Portland. Crossing over runway 3618. We got clear. Nobody's coming in for a landing. So these are the big gates. And this is parking spot number 11. He's inching us forward and stop. Boom. So perfect. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna see what we can do about shutting this engine down here. We need to cut off our fuel supply. I'm used to the TBM where everything is up there. So we need to find so we got that, we got pitch, we got this, we got engine. That's the starter engine. Ah, here they are. So we're turning off our right engine
Transporter. Disembarking of passengers can begin.
and our left engine. Our passengers are departing. So we'll let that go. I'm kind of curious what our landing stats were there. Let's see if that's up or not. So 301 on the landing. A little tough, but first flight, not too bad. So hope you guys enjoyed that one. We're going to see if we can find
Transporter.
a...
Disembarking finished. Have a nice day.
We're going to see if we can find a longer flight and get our elevation up to 20,000 and see what that looks like from the NeoFly. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We'll see you on the next one. And we made it to the northwest or northeast of the United States. We're in Maine. We're going to see if we can go to Nova Scotia, and maybe that would be a good one. Maybe we'll see how far we are from Nova Scotia and see if that would be a good flight to take this new plane that we're in, Cessna Citation CJ4, to 20,000 feet in elevation. So we'll get a nice cloudy day and get a good view of the clouds. So appreciate it once again, guys. The love and support that I've seen on the channel so far has been fantastic. Hope you guys are enjoying the content, and we will see you on the next one.